Hey everybody, welcome back for another big Bluecast. Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. It's the opening week for the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, our beloved Kentucky Wildcats will not be there. To kind of stinks, but I guess we do actually have some really nice good news to throw in to start things off this week. Start out a little bit more chipper than usual. The Kentucky men's rifle team, or just the rifle team in general, I guess, has won the national championship this year for, am I correct, is it their third that they've won?
Yes, it's the third that they've won.
Their third.
And
Awesome.
Mary Tucker won the individual on
Sweet.
small bore. And she may have won the air rifle as well. But I know we had 2 golds and a silver. Mary Tucker and one of her own teammates are competing for the small bore.
Sweet.
So, yeah, the rifle team dominated. They also set an NCAA record for score on team score. So.
Yeah, I remember us not long ago talking about how that had happened. Just like one, it's good just to be proud of the rifle team for accomplishing that, but even aside from the accomplishment in and of itself, it's just a kind of nice palate cleanser to see UK in something, just dominating the way they did, because they really did.
Yeah.
They just crushed it. I think that's something we've all just needed for a while now. With something good to happen.
Yeah, I think they lost one match in the regular season, and then they were runner-up in the GARC. Which is kind of an invitational thing, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they done really well this year.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Mitch Barnhart announced that he's going to be offering a lifetime contract to the rifle coach on Twitter of all places.
Yeah, right. I mean, sounds like they deserve it. So why not? I mean, like, who else are you gonna go get?
Yeah.
May as well hold on to that guy and just dominate that little corner of the sports world.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge popular part of the sports world, but it's not highly televised either. So,
yeah,
maybe a little too sensitive for certain networks to carry.
Yeah, but yeah, I know we've been talking about it, just kind of be nice to be able to start the show off this week just talking about something really just, being on top of the world.
Yeah.
Something really good before diving into the either negative stuff or just kind of looking hopefully into the distance kind of stuff. That's pretty much where we are now. We're right back to, diving back into off-season mode. So, good to have something nice to talk about.
That is for sure. And just go ahead and throw it out early. Be looking for playlists, because we're probably going to start moving these videos under a playlist and start doing some talking about TV shows, whether it be on Netflix or HBO, upcoming movies, our thoughts and predictions, maybe even on some TV series coming up. I know the Asimov thing, I would really like to cover that at some point, so it might be a fun episode to cover. On predictions of what that's going to do on the Apple TV.
Yeah. Be nice to, just kind of mix things up a little bit, especially after going through just like a strange COVID football season and then this kind of abysmal basketball season.
Yeah.
There's only so much we can talk about off-season wise.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, we can talk predictions on quarterbacks, which Stoops has already said he's going to crack down on that kind of information even more than he already has in the past. So
yeah,
it pretty much means we're not going to have much to talk about other than maybe some commitments or decommitments. So
yeah, I mean, pretty much just kind of looking for stuff in the coming weeks or months to see how either like football or basketball, how the rosters are going to kind of shake out. But other than that, it's just kind of months of not a whole lot happening at any given time. So, we might jump on and if a bunch of stuff happens or something, might have enough material for like an episode or something. But other than that,
the baseball team's doing good or something, mention them. But.
Sure, yeah, some of the spring sports and everything and whatnot. But yeah, otherwise we're kind of just already back into, it seems like not long ago that we were ready for football to start, and we're kind of towards the tail end of the extra long like hiatus from sports. Like here we are all the way, everything's come full circle. We're restarting that whole process again. So it'd be fun to just kind of mix things up a little bit, throw some different kind of content out there people might be interested in. Just kind of throw some stuff at the wall, see what sticks, what have you. Last week we just did our brief little check-in. Kentucky lost on their first game on Thursday, SEC tournament. So obviously we didn't make the NCAA tournament. Most of the schools that people, the big blue blood schools aren't in it, other than like Kansas, which is kind of crazy considering everything going on with them. But
yeah, they may have to forfeit this season. I know a lot of people are like, well, they may pass us in the all-time wins.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and they may have a bunch of those
right.
vacated.
I think after they were ousted from their conference championship, I think now it's, even if they win their like 6 games and win a title, they still don't pass us on the all-time wins. But yeah, like how funny would it be though if they did like cross us by like 1 or 2 wins and then all of a sudden had like 60 wins just taken away just like that.
Yeah, and drop back to third.
Like, there might be like one game that we're not allowed to say winningest program in college basketball, like at Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
But and then we'd get it right back. But yeah, like kind of like we touched on, I think a little bit last time. Like I said, where my head was with the season and everything. Like, I mean, after we lost, I was kind of just ready for us to be able to move on to the part of the process where we start looking ahead to next year, and coach can really focus on that kind of stuff, because at that point, like, we're not really going to accomplish much of anything with this past year's team, other than maybe winning a few games in the SEC tournament if we were lucky. But now we're kind of early getting to go ahead and have our guys like feel out, what they're going to do, who's going to come back, who's going to stay, who's going to go, all that. Did you see like any of the comments from Coach Cal's radio show from yesterday?
I did not.
Where
I kind of blocked everything out out of frustration.
Yeah. I just saw some like tidbits. I definitely didn't get like a real big bird's eye view of everything he said, but just a lot of the important stuff. And he did seem to really, more than he's done like elsewise during the year, kind of took more weight of like the results of this year like on his own shoulders. Actually seemed to shoulder a lot more of the blame, which was good to see. Like him just kind of admit that there's things that he needs to do to make things better. He made mention of like how he said he thinks he needs to kind of get away from just trying to go and get like all around talented, like pure athletes, try to get more like specialized kind of players and things like that. And some of his kind of swag was back, you could tell, which I thought was a little premature. It's like, dude, we just lost like a few days ago. Like, I don't think it's time to be cocky. Like, get your team together and then maybe, but, at the same time, I mean, it's kind of nice to see him not just being grumpy. So,
yeah, well, I would say we're going to have several guys come back.
Yeah, I think so.
And once they actually get a summer to sit there and practice on just working together as a team and getting a lot of this me ball out of their system, I think they'll improve a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty much going to be the direction I was headed next. Was we've got 3 decisions already in, which is kind of nice. Just some of the more obvious ones to go ahead and just. I mean, I guess Dante Allen's wasn't as obvious as the other ones, but we got Cam Fletcher's already transferring. Devin Askew's confirmed he's back. Dante Allen's confirmed he's back. So, yeah, like I said, it's nice to just go ahead and get some of that stuff just kind of out of the way. And I think Cal said yesterday he's planning on basically knowing what his team's going to be in the next month, which I was kind of surprised to hear, just because it seems like that process just takes so long anymore. Like, especially where I'm not sure if they're actually doing an NBA Combine this year. I mean, I know they missed it last year. I mean, granted, a lot of our guys probably wouldn't really have like a whole lot to gain from it anyway, because they definitely need to be back. But I mean, that's pretty much where the program is right now. And he said he's hoping to kind of have all that finished in the next, he said 3 to 4 weeks. Well, okay, that'd be nice.
It would be.
And I think that would put some of the fan base at ease, because I think especially this year, if it took a really long time to iron that out, like you'd have the fan base getting kind of skittish about things.
To me, the two biggest question marks would be Boston and Mintz.
Mintz
wants
Let's
to come
run
back.
through it. Like,
everybody's talking, but maybe one of those deals too. That Cal's like, look, I've got a scholarship guy I need to go after, and I need that scholarship.
See, like, if I had to guess, I would say, because that's the thing is, I don't think, unless there's just some transfer that opens up that is just like a world beater, like, there's really not like any top freshmen like on the market for the most part that are like a sure thing. I honestly think that if Mintz was leaning towards coming back, like, I don't think there's anything that would stop Cal from taking him back. Just to have a guy his age who's played a year under the system.
I would like to see him back. It's just, to me, it's a big question mark. And Boston, obviously, is the biggest question mark for the team. I mean, there were games that he showed brilliance, but there was a lot of games that he showed a lot of immaturity. And he could definitely stand to come back, but he's also still got high enough draft stock that I could potentially see him saying bye.
Yeah, I think the latest mock draft came out yesterday or this morning and had him in the second round. I just don't know. Like, I think a lot of it too depends on, because I know they talked like at the beginning of the season, like kind of preseason, back when him and Clark and Askew were just like out at the Amazon warehouse, like practicing together and stuff, which is the best, summer practice they could get under their belts, sadly. But like it sounded like from everything you heard that he pretty much had his mind made up, like he was going to be around for a year and then take off. I mean, I know obviously probably neither him nor his family thought that the season was, and his 1 year career here were going to go the way they did, but I'll just be curious to see if like his mind has changed on that at all, like whether it's because of just how bad things were, because of the fact that his draft stock is not nearly where he thought he was going to be at this point. And honestly, probably one of the biggest ones, if Cal's opinion has a whole lot of sway in what he's going to do, I'll be curious like what his pitch is, because it just sounds like with a lot of guys he's very hesitant to outright say like you need to come back. Like he just kind of presents the information and is like, okay,
like he said whatever. One day, like the conversation last less than 5 minutes.
Like there's not really, he's not being a salesman, like when he's on the recruiting trail or whatever. It's just, here's the objective information. I mean, I just can't imagine like how if Cal sits down with him and says like, here are what my NBA friends are saying, like they're all saying that this would be a disaster if you left right now, like how you, unless you've just made up your mind like, I don't care, I'm just leaving, I'm gonna go make whatever money I can, and just
honestly he needs to put some on some muscle, some weight.
He does. I mean, everything about his game, like he just started to show at the end of the year, like kind of just
that potential that got him
flashes. Kind of inconsistent flashes of what he could be, especially in a second year where he's been training all year, he's put on weight, like pretty much everything across the board. There's no like single aspect to him that is just like a sure thing right now. So
he's kind of to me like a PJ Washington.
Kind of, like could he have left after the first year? I mean, like, if you want to be in the second round and like just see if like taking that path works out for you, but he
came back, looked like a completely different player.
Looked much more adult. Like
he could be physical,
just play
he had
differently,
strength,
move differently, everything.
He was able to dominate when he drove to the basket. He could finish. He wasn't just getting knocked to the floor.
The fact that he could practice and like hold his own against a dude like Reed Travis or something, whose basic function was just to beat people up.
Yeah.
Like, and he did fine. Like, yeah, he was. That should be like the quintessential, just like, here, this is what you should try to be next year. Be BJ Washington instead of like losing weight, building strength, like getting a shot, all that. Like, you need to just put on strength, like put on weight, like learn how to get to the basket, like around these college players and stuff, and he could be something else next year.
Yeah. And learn how to dish the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of our team needs to work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I imagine, like, let's run through them. I think, in my opinion, like, I imagine Jacob Toppin's going to be back because he was supposed to redshirt this year and ended up playing and actually being pretty decent at times. So I imagine he's probably in for the next year or two, since that was the plan to begin with. I mean, the big ones really, the biggest kind of question marks right now of like who knows what they might do be like Keon Brooks and Lance Ware, right? I mean, I don't necessarily see Lance Ware transferring. Like, that would be a real big surprise to me, but at the same time, like, who knows? You
Depends on who we got coming in and who we have coming back.
Yeah. And like I said, that's why it's weird, because when you think of who's gonna, who else might he go get, you start to think, okay, let's look down the list of the top 100 like freshmen and see who he might want to grab. There's just like not many more guys to get. Like, they're mostly off the board for the most part.
Got the transfer from West Virginia.
Yeah, we've got Oscar Shibwe coming for sure. And the thing is, it seems like right now, and especially once the season's over for everybody, it seems like the transfer market is set to just explode, where they're going to let guys just transfer like crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'd be curious to see if, he just kind of rolls with guys like Lance Ware and Jacob Toppin, or if he says, like, you know what, I can go get like a power forward who's really good from this school and just bring him in and see what happens. Like, it'll be kind of fascinating to see.
The only issue with that is when he does that, it seems like we spend half the year getting that player acclimated to our system, because he's got 2 or 3 years
retrained
of different system that he's learned. Now he's got to completely unlearn and relearn everything he's doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Reed Travis. I mean, he looked atrocious the first half of the season.
For a guy like him, he looks so uncomfortable. And it was like almost uncomfortable to see how uncomfortable he looked at the start of the year. Yeah. Like, once he figured it out, it was great. Yeah. But, I mean, even guys like, Mintz, by the end of the year, he's like our best player on the floor. But at first, I mean, he had to kind of figure things out because he's been somewhere else. Mm-hmm. It also depends on the kind of guys that he goes after. Because if he goes after another, like Olivier Sarr, well, is that guy going to be able to adapt to the way he plays?
Sarr didn't. Cal had to adapt to Sarr.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is it's like, I think he's either going to have to go get, like, extremely particular people and hope that style works, or he's going to have to, branch and just adapt, like, how he lets his guys play. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of different avenues, and like the fact that this is the first like year where they can just go grab guys from like another conference, or if the SEC passes the rule that lets interconference or intra-conference guys transfer and play immediately, who knows? Like, who knows who we might go get, or how successful that would be. Like, I wonder how successful he would be on just the widespread like transfer recruitment trail, or if there would be like older kids looking and going, yeah, but you guys were terrible last year, and like, I'm 6'9" and I shoot threes, so I'm not coming there. Like, if there's going to be anything like that, I don't know. Like,
yeah, it took your season being a complete wash before you let Olivier Sarr play his style of basketball.
Yeah, until you just finally like moved him out and let him do his thing. Like, Scout 2.0 all over again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think the potential is there to see some really exciting and cool stuff happen. I think it just depends on how much give and take there is on Cal's part, and who he's able to find. But I am really excited for guys like Oscar Sheboy. I've read a little bit about some of the recruits that we actually do have, especially our big guys are known for being, as freshmen, not as technically finessed, but they are just big bruising players. Okay, I like that because I'd like to just see guys that aren't soft. I think we've had enough of that. Not to crush those guys or anything, but I think we've had enough of that for a little while. Just having a team of a bunch of guys who just don't take contact and frustrating year for sure.
Yeah, all around. How often is it that we're saying, when's football start?
Right.
It's usually the opposite way for us Kentucky fans. It's usually, hey, when's basketball get here?
Hey, let's not forget, it's funny in retrospect, some of our earliest episodes doing this past season, where we started to see struggle, slips here and there with the football team, losing games we shouldn't have lost. Oh, joking, when are we going to start saying, when's basketball season? Well, if I had a time machine.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want basketball season, trust me.
Yeah, might go back and slap myself around.
I'm going to throw some money in Vegas here and do a little bit of Back to the Future stuff here and get rich really quick on the misfortunes of the program.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd be... I was actually talking to my dad about this the other day. I said, if I could do a Back to the Future sort of thing, go back and do that, I think I'd be calling a sports book and saying, okay, back in September, saying, okay, what odds will you give me on this? I don't care what it is, I'm putting however much down. Odds that Kentucky misses the NCAA tournament, Morehead State is the only school representing the state of Kentucky. Or maybe maybe the day after we beat them in that first game by 30 points. Probably get laughed at for about a solid 10 minutes and then see what kind of odds they give me. And here you go.
Now, in all fairness, if that time machine existed, I would go back to the day Bitcoin was announced and it was $1 a coin.
Well, yeah. That'd be easy. I would just be I put, let's see, $100. Woo! Just see what happens.
$1,000 on
it. Yeah. How much money am I spending on college right now? All that.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it, and I'd be sitting in the Bahamas somewhere right now.
Yeah.
Doing this.
Right. I'd be watching my Kentucky games and stuff on a fancy satellite. You rest assured.
Yep.
Oh, well, is there anything other major stuff we need to talk about on this one? We're kind of just back to guess and check.
So we're kind of just back to guess and check, and things change daily.
See what happens. Exactly.
So
our luck will get off here and another player will announce a decision, right as we're posting this or something.
Yeah,
that seems to be how it always goes. So
done. It could happen as I'm editing the audio and stuff here a little bit to upload it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Absolutely. No. Yeah, now we just kind of wait. We'll probably, like Cal said, we've probably got about, I'm going to guess probably, he said 3 to 4 weeks. I'm going to guess if that's his timeline, stretch it out to a month and a half.
Yeah.
Until we have a pretty good idea of what we're looking at for next year. Still got to wait for some football news and stuff to kind of trickle in, get some other stuff. But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. It's just major UK sports are just kind of back in hibernation for the time being.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we can talk about some TV series.
Yeah.
That should be an interesting
Change
topic.
things up a little bit. Should be a little more consistently happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Less just dismal.
There's plenty of hype around the Asimov series coming out there for Foundation. And it might be a good one to start off with, just to have some early speculation of where it's going to go. Because they've announced part of the cast and who they're going to be portraying from the books. And it's enough information to kind of give an idea of where it's going to start as far as the book timeline goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be just a fun little shifting of gears.
Oh yeah, that we've got
I'm
Netflix
pretty,
shows coming up.
Yeah,
Marvel movies.
HBO Max and all that. It's got a ton of movies and stuff dropping this year, just straight to streaming.
Well, yeah, I think tomorrow
Be
we've
fun
got
to-
a straight to stream on the rehash of Justice League.
Yeah, Justice League Part 2, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, the original cut.
It's either. Yeah, it's either tomorrow or Thursday. I don't remember which.
I think it was the 17th.
I think.
So it'll be tomorrow.
17th? Okay. Yeah, it's definitely this week sometime,
Yeah.
mid to late week. Yeah, it's like, who wants to sit down and watch a different version of a movie you already saw and did not like?
Yeah, with the potential to be just as.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, everything I've read about it so far, like, when you see people just giving, like, these little teases, like, critics that have seen, like, the early, like, IMAX showings and stuff and are talking about it, the thing that stuck out to me is, like, no one's really saying it's a great movie. They're just, like, commending Zack Snyder for finishing it and saying that it's basically a lot different from Josh Whedon's. It's just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
I think the official, like, Rotten Tomatoes score was revealed to be like 75% or something. So they're like,
Yeah.
it's okay, but it's not great. Like, it's
Batman
just kinda
versus Superman wasn't that great either, and that was Zack Snyder.
That's the thing. Like, when everyone started hyping that, and we're like, oh my god, this one's just gonna be the end all be all. I'm like, yeah, but the last one he did and finished was not that great.
Well, and he still finished this one. It was just they changed from him writing it to Whedon writing it. He was still director.
Well, Whedon went back and Whedon went back and reshot like everything but like 20 minutes of the movie, though.
Yeah, they did do that, but
Like,
it still was directed by. It's not.
but like, it didn't have like any of Zack Snyder's stuff.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
They took that out, but he was still listed as director.
oh yeah, yeah. Like, that's where the whole thing I know came up, is like, he just had the original reel like in his house and like put it on Twitter. He's like, I still have it. And well, I guess they gave him like a $70 million budget or something to just like reshoot everything he wanted to have reshot in the first place. And
Oh yeah.
I think they said like it's about 4 hours in length, and it has roughly 20 or 30 minutes of shots from like what Joss Whedon used.
Yeah.
But the rest is like all completely. I know they changed like a lot of the story and everything, but I'm just like, it's probably going to be 4 hours long, and it doesn't sound like it's that horribly wonderful.
Yeah, that's like
So, I mean,
Days of Thunder. You know,
Yeah.
one of the directors joked that they could have brought out like 5 different cuts of the movie.
yeah,
Just because they had literally a warehouse full of film that they didn't even get a chance to review. Because they were so far behind on their deadline, they didn't have a chance to
yeah.
go through all the footage.
That was one of the funniest things that I read about, like, somebody that I guess worked production wise on, like, was there like for the entire process, because I know a lot of people kind of switched hands, like when Zack Snyder dropped out and then Joss Whedon came in, brought in a lot of his people. And there was some guy in the production that they were talking to that was there for the whole duration of it, and him just talking about how funny it was that Zack Snyder had done all this stuff, left like due to a family emergency or whatever, and dropped out. They thought they were basically done, and Joss Whedon came in, rewrote like a ton of the script, wanted like 80% of the movie reshot. The actors were mad. Were like, this is dumb. Like, none of this works. Like, they saw the special effects that he was implementing and stuff. Were like, this is so much worse. And then when it came to like, you know, didn't really help things as far as like keeping Henry Cavill around as Superman and all
Yeah,
that.
sounds kind of like Disney with Ryan Johnson,
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams. Whenever
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson came in and said, "Scrap it all."
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they're talking
Just
about releasing A.J.
start
Abrams'
over.
version.
I mean, why not? I mean, if we can just, everybody can just throw stuff up
Yeah.
on their own streaming service.
Yeah, so I guess we're going
Let's
to
just
have 3
at it.
versions of Justice League now. We're going to have the original cut. We're going to have the director's cut, which we called something different, but the ultimate cut
Yeah.
or something like that. That had a little bit of the stuff they cut out from Zack Snyder, and now we're going to get the version
Oh, great.
that's all Zack Snyder.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? I have a feeling it's going to be at least better, but it's not going to be like world's greatest movie or something like all these people that have been screaming for it to come out in the past like 5 years. But who knows? There'll be plenty of fun stuff like that for us to kind of dive into, especially this year. This weird everything streams year.
Everything streams and everybody's mad about something.
Yeah.
Plenty of controversy to talk about. Should be kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this little edition of this fun show. Unless you got anything else.
No, nothing else here. Just hit that like and subscribe button, and
absolutely
catch y'all here hopefully next week. Continue to do this weekly, and it'd be some different content, so should be fun.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Till next time, go Big Blue somewhere in the distant future-ish as far as major sports go, and yeah, we'll see you next time.